There we go. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, hello.
Tom and Dave here with the BlabberMalt Show. And if you guys don't know, we do a live show out and about at a fun brewery every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We're on Facebook, and we cross-post to Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News. And we are at the Phoenix Brewing Company out in Mansfield.
You can see right there.
You can. There's the Phoenix rising behind us. We have Duncan and Cameron here. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Pretty good, yes.
Yeah. Thanks
Welcome to episode 102.
It is episode 102. I forgot to mention that.
And today's date is?
For May 20th, 2025. Yeah. You know, I mentioned this real quick. NeoCBN just tipped over 21,000 viewers, so, you know, holla for them. That's awesome. That's where we get all our brewery news. That's where I get mine. I don't know where you get yours, Tom.
Same place, or the BlabberMalt Show.
Oh, the BlabberMalt Show.
Listen to see what's going on there, too.
No, we talk about beer brewing and bullcrap mostly, but they're just serious about their news. So we also heard you guys are going to be on their they have their happy hour coming up next month.
I think we're in August.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
August? Oh, maybe we're next month. I thought it was August.
Okay, that's where
Could be next month.
They come out and or they talk to you guys during.
Yeah, I think maybe, is that a remote thing?
I think so.
Yeah, sorry, put you on the spot with that. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. We really need the followers. NeoCBN has 21,000 followers. We have little under 700, so we're lagging way behind. We need your help, so get out there and support us. Also, check the Beacons link. You can get all the details, get to the Spotify shop, maybe buy some swag.
Dave, where can they find us? Where are we at? Where are we broadcasting on?
Well, this is Facebook live every other. When we're out live, we just go on Facebook, but you can also get us on YouTube. And tomorrow we'll be up on Spotify, and that'll be video. And anywhere else you can get audio podcasts.
And we're also cross with
NeoCBN.
All right,
For sure.
great.
Definitely.
Can you
Yeah.
get that sweatshirt online?
You can, but you got to talk to us. There's a whole thing with taxes, and we need a EIN number. It's a whole deal. You come through us, we'll get you.
It used to be real easy to get stuff.
It was. The government, they want to poke their fingers. They want to see who's selling what and make sure you're not, with the Taliban or something. So that's how that goes. So what we like to do at the top of the show is just get a little weekend update. So, Tom, how was your weekend? What'd you get into?
Weekend was good. The wife and I actually went out Saturday to the Hoppy Dudes.
Did you?
For their 4-year anniversary party.
Okay.
Got to hang out a little bit with both Chad and Keith and
Nice.
try some of their new beers. They had about 5 new beers that for the anniversary party.
Nice.
And then somehow mysteriously, we also ended up picking up a Medina passport while we were there and said, well, what the heck? We didn't know what else we were going to do that night. So we ended up hitting a couple other breweries in Medina.
I figured you were already on that passport.
We were going to pass, but all of a sudden we got pulled into it. So now we're doing the passport. I had to find out when the party was. And we're going to be in town for it. So
Okay.
that was a deciding factor. So if we're in town, why not? Let's go.
Nice. All right.
So,
that sounds good.
What'd you do?
We were Saturday, we were over at our friends Dave and Lauren Stokely. They had a crawfish boil. And I got to tell you, this guy is a beer fanatic. He ended up breaking out a 2017 Cantillon Creek.
Oh.
And, so he's like, come on down. We're going to pick something out. And I was looking, he's got a wine cooler. It's full, I would say 80% full of Cantillon, Goose, Creek, Framboise, and they had 200 bottles. This is a 200 bottle fridge, and it was almost packed out. Not all, he had a lot of lambics. So we picked out the Creek and had that, which was awesome. And he ended up pouring some Rumpelmans later, and then the Mezcal came out, and things went south real quick. So that was...
Well, he had to break into his inventory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice introduction because I think like Belgian Beer Week is coming up here like in a week or two, so
It
you're
is.
getting a little head start on that. That's
Yeah,
nice.
you got that right. How about you guys? What'd you guys do?
We were down in Columbus on Saturday with the Ohio Crappers Association at the Mystery Beer Date at Giant Eagle. Had a lot of fun. Have you guys been to one? Did you go to the one up in Strongsville area?
No, we didn't. I saw that on posts and stuff. It looked like it was a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
there were a
So
lot
this
of
was down in
fun.
Columbus.
So much fun. This is at Columbus. They do it for Ohio on Tap Week, celebrating the Ohio on Tap app. By the way, have you checked in here yet?
I have not.
Oh, you'll have to.
We were kinda rushed, I think.
But yeah, so it was a great event. It wound up, there's like 15 groups of people that come through. You get 5 minutes with each group, and you get to try to sell your beer to them, like be the best beer date that they've had. And we had a lot of fun with ours. We actually will be tasting one of the beers that we took down there. So
And how did you guys do?
we did well. We got
How many dates did you get?
well, I mean, there's 15 groups of people that come through. We did not get best date, but we did get best table decor, so, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always good to win something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then Sunday,
Yeah.
you had more to say. You had a book swap.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we had a book swap here on Sunday, a blind date with a book. So we had blind date with a beer and blind date with a book.
What is a book swap?
So you bring in a book, you wrap it up so that you don't know what it is. That's the blind date part of it. You write a few things like if it's a romance novel, history. You put a smut rating in case it's a smutty book and people don't want a smutty book. And sometimes you tuck things in like bookmarks, tea bags, and then people come in and they
Very popular.
swap the books out. Once everybody's they have about an hour to get all their books on the tables in the right places, and then we pull tickets, and then they go through and they get to pick out a book.
And there's some beer involved here too?
There's usually some drinking as well. Yes. While they're
Yeah.
waiting, most people have a beverage of some kind. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that covers our weekend. So I think
that was our weekend.
So I mean, you can't talk about the best date and throw a tea bag in there and not expect me to say something. But that's how you get best date, with a tea bag.
And that's how you end up on the BlabberMalt Show talking about some
Yeah,
bull
that's
crap.
my go-to move on a date, the tea bag. Yeah. Anyway, so
I have a story about that off camera.
oh, okay, here we go.
What I taught.
Okay.
Giddy up. So, hey man, let's get into the Warloft. We are at Phoenix Brewing Company. We are up in the spirit room upstairs because they're doing trivia downstairs and it's a little noisy. But we got the lights turned just right. We have the beautiful glass window back here. We want to thank you guys for having us out.
And now, when he said we're going to be in the spirit room, I was thinking because of the little history of the building and what it used to be that they might be a little bit spookier, not realizing that spirit represents something else unless it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, so obviously, if you don't know what it is, the spirit is really the alcohol. I mean,
Okay.
or is it?
Or is it?
And then this being a mortuary, built in 1914, lasted till 1935, which is a long time ago. But this was the viewing room of the mortuary, so it had a skylight. So it's got a lot of spirit,
So you could
I guess
view
you
the
could say.
spirits.
And it
huh?
has spirits again.
Okay. Full circle.
Nice. Is the premises haunted? Have you seen ghosts? And you have stories.
It is.
You'll tell the stories, right?
We have a resident that we call Charles.
Does he go by Chuck or Charles?
Charles. We've had ghost hunters come through, and it's always kind of
Got
fun
corrected.
to hear. But it's always kind
It's
of fun to
Charles.
hear their fun, or to hear their stories and the things that they say. And one of the first groups of ghost hunters that came in said, you've got something here. You've got some spirits, and they don't like beer. He doesn't like beer at all, but he likes. We have a lot of spirits over there, over 128. But he said that the ghost didn't like spirits, or he didn't like alcohol, but that he liked people, and that he was happy that we were here, which is good. We've not had any bad experiences. We have the warehouse next door that's a little creepier.
There's different ghosts over there.
Yeah, there is something different over there. We've hosted ghost hunts here before. We used to do a charity event where every year was the ghost hunt, and one of the years, like my hair stood up on my arms because the EMF meters, we ask that people turn their phones off for those so that there's no interference. We turn a lot of electrical stuff off. She would ask questions and the meter would just spike. Like I'm goosebumping right now. Like I have pimples right now. So yeah, it was crazy.
I don't want to go over there. I wanted to tour it. Now I don't.
Oh no, all of our ghosts are friendly though. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Well, let's not upset one of the ghosts. Let's be happy people and maybe start with one of your beers.
Yeah, how about
What
that?
should we start with?
What should we?
Duncan, yeah, what's...
Well, I'm doing the turbidity. We might as well start with that.
Yeah,
How about
right
that? Yeah.
Right here.
Yep,
So
the
that's
first one.
over
That's
there.
the first one, all right?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So turbidity means hazy, cloudy. It's actually a scientific term for the amount of turbidity is actually has units. So it's 0 to whatever, but it is a hazy IPA. So it's a New England hazy IPA. It's got a variety of hops: Mosaic, Citra, El Dorado, and a Zythos blend. So that's 6.7%. So nothing too much more to say on it.
I'm getting a little the little zest to it. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that's is that the El Dorado or
Kind of the blend. So it's tropical.
there's a little
little bit of
fruitiness,
citrus.
Yeah, definitely get that Citra.
Let me try it.
It's drinkable. It's drinkable.
It's drinkable.
It's drinkable.
It's a little more than it's a
So
little more than
not
drinkable.
bitter on the back end.
It's
It
super drinkable.
should be smooth and approachable, like they say.
It's very approachable.
that's-
It's easy to drink. It's very easy to drink.
Actually,
So
the more I'm getting a little more like that fruity pebble sweetness at the end.
Yeah, not in with the Mosaic, you kind of expect maybe a little more dankness, but I don't get a lot
Right.
of that. But
No, not at all.
yeah, so as we're enjoying that, I saw you guys have recently celebrated your 11th year.
Yeah.
So that answers the how long have you been in operation? But
11 in a month.
yeah, so how was the party? You guys had a little event here.
Yeah. So we always go big or go home on our anniversary. Carmen has a lot to do with that, promoting it, and we do a special 4-pack release, and we have a big party. And this year it was a little bit cool, but we had a big turnout. I don't know if you want to add. I'm sure you have a lot to add about that.
we have a great team, some just fantastic staff, and everybody works really hard to make the event happen. I want to say we had 34 beers on draft
Yeah.
this time.
Wow.
We started with 30 beers at our 3rd anniversary, and it was just kind of like we're going to do 30 beers this year. It was like this great big idea, and then we've just kind of continued with that since year 3. And then someone
But
had
we didn't do 40 at 4.
we did not do 40 at 4, so or 50 at 5. So, but we have an amazing group of brewers and staff that just do so much, and we're just lucky to have the team that we have.
Yeah, and another thing on that is our actual anniversary is April 10th, 2014, but we celebrate a couple weeks later. Just the weather. We hope the weather's better, and then we actually open up our beer garden with the anniversary. So we actually open up, put the planters out, and the dividers and the tent up, and so that's kind of what starts our
That's the
summer.
official-
It just starts our summer in April, but works
And then
out.
it's Ohio now, so it's like 50 degrees and
April.
wet.
Yeah, you'll have a day where it's 70 and then it's freezing again. It's crazy.
So how many beers do you? Because you don't have 30 right now on tap, do you? No.
No.
So you normally keep how many on?
We normally keep 16 on tap in the tap room, and then we have 4 beers up here. But the beers that are in the spirit room, sometimes we'll rotate out with different brands, and sometimes we'll rotate something in downstairs. We like to try to promote Ohio beers, just because there's it's a great industry, and there's so many amazing brewers and breweries in Ohio.
So how do you swell your inventory to 30 taps when you normally keep half that amount on.
Yeah, so that starts probably February when we just hold back a keg or two of different styles that have gotten through that are still not old, but and some of them are like barrel aged beers or stuff that can carry malt many months. And then we'll do variants of some of our basic styles, like our blonde. We'll do 3 different types of blonde. We do a mango habanero, and we do we did a birthday cake blonde, but that was one we did.
Yeah.
So variants and just holding back kegs, and before you know it, you got 30 beers.
Is this Turbidity one you normally have on draft? Then is this the one flagship? It's a flagship. Okay. So I mean, from 11 years ago, it's been on, or
No, this became a flagship in this year.
This year.
So we added 2 flagships this year, and we'll talk about the second one in a little bit.
Okay. And you did mention, you have a brewery team. So I think that when I looked on the page, Duncan, you are the head brewmaster, right? And then you've got a team of some folks that also help you out.
Yeah, I have. We got assistant brewers, and then we have some other people trained in cellaring, but it's mainly three people in production. We have 2 brew houses, so we have to maintain. There's 13 fermenters that need managed, and we got to figure out what's in all of them. And I have software for that just to keep it streamlined. But yeah,
He's got a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
spreadsheets. Yeah,
that too. We use beer 30,
yeah.
so the 5th ingredient.
Yeah, right. Well, let's talk about that. You have 2 brew houses. What size are they? Where are they located? And what do you brew on each one of those?
So we started with the pilot system, which is in the embalming room of this building. It just happens to be so that we brew in the embalming. That was a 5-barrel system. We started in 2014. A couple fermenters. We've got a total of 5 fermenters down there. Six fermenters. 5 barrel and 1 10-barrel. And then we expanded next door. There's a warehouse space, and we have a 20-barrel system. And there's 6 fermenters over there, I believe. I say yes, 12 total. So there's 6 over there, up to 30-barrel fermenters over there. So it's nice to have the production brewery so close by. A lot of breweries have a pilot and a production brewery across town, but ours happen to be 100 feet from each other.
That's a lot easier to manage.
Yeah, that helps. All right. Do we have another beer? What's the next beer?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to go?
Are we going to order?
You want to go to? Let's go in order. Redemption.
Redemption.
Okay.
Tell us a little about Redemption.
Okay.
So Redemption is one of the first beers that we started with. It's named after the Shawshank Redemption, which was...
Is that a movie or something?
It's a little movie. It came out about 30 years ago. Actually, it's a huge part of our industry in this area. A lot of tourist Shawshank travel, Shawshank events, and it's been huge for our community. And then I would definitely want to mention Destination Mansfield is our local CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau. They've done a fantastic job just by making that just an event every year and bringing in actors and everybody back. So, but the Redemption IPA is a West Coast style IPA. It's called Redemption because of Shawshank Redemption, and that has been on our taps since day one. So,
I mean, I like that it's for West Coast. It's definitely not overly bitter. Sometimes West Coast can be a
It's
little
not bracing, yeah.
too much. This is it's you can still taste that, but it's to me it smooths out a little bit.
Yeah, I think the hops definitely balance out the body of it.
It's very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Now, I mean, with Redemption and Shawshank, I believe Dave wore a shirt that had
Oh,
something
yeah.
to do with this.
I got
Switch engage.
yeah. Killswitch Engage is playing. Well, let's say, the prison incarceration festival. Killswitch Engage. This is a beer shirt. It says more beer. And so there's the tie-in with the beer, and they're going to be playing at Incarceration in July.
Which is a concert that takes place at.
It takes place at the prison, yeah. the
Yeah, I mean, you
Mansfield
were promoting
prison.
this all last year, and it wasn't until I looked on site that I realized that Incarceration concert was at the prison. Now it makes complete sense.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I did not tie the two together
Oh,
in my
okay.
head.
I
until
assumed. I assumed. Yeah.
Did you get a tattoo?
I did not. No. I have 0 tattoos. No.
This could be the year.
Could be the year. I've said this before. Multi-day festivals. I'm old, man. I can't do it. But I did want to ask you guys. Do you see an influx of patrons? Some crazy metalheads out here at the brewery?
We have a lot of earlier people come out because we close at 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So typically the concerts are letting out around that time at 10:45 to
okay.
11. They're kind of sending people out. We get some
Some pre-gamers.
some pre-gamers. We have more throughout the week of people who have kind of come out earlier in the week to kind of participate.
Okay.
But they can't leave, and I'm sure you know, like once you're in incarceration,
Yeah.
you can't leave.
Exactly. Once you're in incarceration, you can't leave.
Yeah.
There's no redemption.
There's no redemption in incarceration. Folks.
Yeah, so they can't leave the premises, so it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
So if they come out, they either come out earlier in the day, and we do a lot of fun things with that to bring people out and still have people come out. And
So
this year we're doing a Bloody Mary event, so there's a Bloody Mary, like 5 or 6 different types of Bloody Marys, and
oh, that's fun.
it'll be fun.
So we gotta. More importantly, we need to work on getting your beer into the festival. Get it into the festival, right?
It's
Because
been there?
Yeah. When it was Ink and the Clink,
okay, yeah, I wasn't there that far back.
changed the name.
Yeah, it's all Budweiser, AB InBev stuff.
all it is.
Yeah. So they had, I'm trying to think, they bought Platform. So I think they had, what is it, Hazy Jane? They had that there, which is, it's okay. But yeah, Bud Light. That's what you can get. We need to work on
And
that.
you can't leave. You get anything else. So
No, there's nothing else. There's nothing else.
I think bottled, even water, you gotta buy it there.
Well, you can buy bottled water, but they do legally. They have water stations you can fill up, but it's tap water, so that's whatever.
So, I mean, we
Anyway.
see the beautiful Phoenix behind us there. Why Phoenix? What was the, what happened? How'd that name come about?
Yeah, one of our other partners, Scott. We were actually there was 3 partners. There's still 3 partners, but we were trying to come up with a name, and we wanted something bigger than like Mansfield Brewing. So we came up with a mortuary, which was kind of dark, and then there was no breweries in town when we opened, so our brewery came up out of the ashes. So Phoenix, it kind of tied in with bringing a brewery back, and the fact that we're in a mortuary. So coming out of the ashes was the Phoenix. So that's kind of where it came from.
I like it.
So it's really,
Yeah.
so it's not easy to name a brewery. So maybe it is to some, and it took a little time for us.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
it's a process, and you like it to have some meaning.
because we always talk about, namings of beers too. So obviously, the redemption, you kind of gave the story about that. Turidity had to do with the actual fact that it's hazy, right? And it's a type of thing. So when you guys think about names for beers, is there a process? Is it something you guys just,
We started with, we had 3 different criteria, and I'm trying to remember that. So one was related to the mortuary, so dark death themes, I guess. Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
But basically related to the mortuary. And then a local history or local names that had
so some tie to the
ties to the
community?
local area.
Okay.
And then mythology, so rising up out of the ashes, so we have some mythological names. So some Greek goddesses and that you might be able to say more about.
Persephone and Perseus and Garuda, well, which is not a god, but
Okay, but
mean,
so,
kind of is.
so the mythology stuff. So,
So
you
we
guys
tried to
those
stick
3 things to
themes.
There's
We
a
didn't want to
theme.
just say, the Boxcar Willie Stout. I mean, it didn't refer to anything. So most of our beers, now we've gotten out of those 3 themes a few times, just for fun, like Island Time, which we'll get to. It's about being at the beach and that kind of thing. But mostly we stuck to 3 themes, just so they would have a story for it. Yeah.
Nice.
I do like. I like the heavy metal, the death kind of themes for beers and breweries and stuff like that. Like uh, down in Florida near Fort Myers, I think there's Buried Brewing Company, and they lean into the coffins and the grave digger, that kind of stuff, and I think that's cool. And even the artwork, you can kind of lean into that too with your labels and stuff. Three Floyds comes to mind. They're very metal oriented.
There's a Lazarus Brewing in Texas,
Ah.
and they have a lot of resurrection themes
Yeah.
and kind of lean into that same kind of vein that we have. We have a staff member who went to Texas last summer, and the beers were fantastic that he brought back, but their graphics were out of this world. They were fantastic.
You said with the Phoenix theme, you could have a Lazarus beer too. I mean, Rebirth,
We could.
which again, I can point out though, and we can't see it right now necessarily with the cameras, but the flight holders are actually in the shape of a coffin.
Yeah.
So
They're
you
cool.
definitely, if you've kept that theme going,
It's very subtle. Most of our themes in that direction are subtle, I guess. Like you're not really sure that it relates to something dark. So we didn't want to be in your face about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the Phoenix has that. It's in reference.
it's light coming out of dark. It's more of
Right.
a positive with
It is.
darkness in it.
It is. I agree.
Well,
All right,
going
how
to
about-
darkness? I guess.
Yeah, let's go into darkness here and get this beer.
What do we have here?
This is the Danger City Brown Ale.
Danger City. All right.
And sticking with the flagship theme, this is all flagships, this first flight. So, brown ale started out as an American brown ale, and it just kind of evolved into more of a English brown ale. So the hops switched from American citrus hops to UK more herbal hops. It just seemed like that's what people were gravitating to, because I was dry hopping this with like Cascade at first. More Pete's Wicked Brown Ale was something I kind of liked back in the day, but this is kind of more for English style. So
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of Pete's Wicked Ale. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned that tea thing. So it wasn't until like the second sip that I could see this as a tea, but it has that brown toffee beginning, but it does finish a little bit different, a little bit lighter.
yeah, so this is kind of an easy drinking brown, whereas a lot of them are heavier. This is 5.2% alcohol. And then you got the chocolate notes, but still a clean, drinkable brown ale.
Yeah, that's was my next question. What's the ABV on that? And yeah, that's a session beer for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's very
is
enjoyable.
Mansfield a dangerous city? That this
Oh.
is why is it danger?
Yeah, I can talk about
You
that.
remember where I got that from, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
I'm not surprised if I did or didn't.
No. So early years ago, the downtown area had a lot of crime, and we're talking years, like in the 60s and 70s. There was a lot of crime. There was a lot of, I don't want to say decay, but
Well, a lot of the manufacturing was closing down.
yeah, manufacturing was closing down in the downtown area. Most of the shops, where your downtowns had a lot of shops in them, they moved out to Ontario to go to the mall. So crime rates began to kind of surge a little bit. So Mansfield earned this nickname of Danger City. So when we were looking for names,
Where did I find that out?
I believe that came from Steve.
No.
No?
I was
Was it
looking
you?
for names for beers, and I was on Wikipedia. And I looked up. I typed in Mansfield, Ohio, so I read about Mansfield on Wikipedia, and in there it said Mansfield is known as Danger City, and it explained why, because I had never heard that. I mean, nobody I know has ever heard it referred to that, but it was Wikipedia, so I had to go with it.
Of course, it's 100% correct.
Yeah, it's
Of
got to
course.
be. Got to be true. That.
Yeah. So
Actually, there had been people who have come in and said things like later on about that they'd heard that or the phrasing, and it actually was the beer was picked up by, and we're not really allowed to. It was picked up by a large A couple of years ago, it was picked up for a couple of seasons for a large sporting event. So,
And you can't say it.
no,
A large what event?
sporting event.
Sporting event, yes.
Yes.
I know what she's referring to.
Yeah.
Big stadium.
It was a big stadium.
There you go. That's the story.
Okay. You heard it here, but you didn't really hear it.
You heard a suggestion of it here.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's very drinkable, and I dig it a lot.
And I'm going to assume, since these are, your flagship beers, they've been here since the beginning. I mean, they are obviously still selling very well with the.
Yeah, so, right, this was like I said, the turbidity was just this year, but this one and what was the one before?
Redemption.
Redemption, yeah, Redemption and Danger City, this brown ale, since day one, absolutely. And yeah, still sell, it's always on the board, so you have those who only drink, one of these two all the time.
So do you do those over in the, what are we calling it? Not the
Production.
the production.
Production versus the pilot.
Right.
No, but the what was it before? What was the facility before? It was the this is the embalming room.
Yeah.
What was next door?
It actually was a garage for
Oh.
a car collector for
Oh.
the G&L business when they sold custodial chemicals and supplies.
It's not as
There's no-
romantic
there's
as
no-
the
no,
embalming
no,
room.
there's
yeah.
no-
Okay.
You had to ask.
Yeah, I had to ask.
I could have made something up.
So those are on the production, the flagships, correct?
Yeah, mostly, but it just depends on need. If we need some draft and we've just canned a batch next door, we'll do a 5-barrel batch in the basement if it's needed. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's break that out. Let's talk about production, like canning. How much of your production is in cans, or
Yeah.
how much is in the tap room?
I'd say from what we can, we don't can all of our brands, but the ones that we do can, I mean, it's pretty close to 50-50 on draft to cans, depending on, and we look at data from the previous year, the year before, as to how draft versus cans sell. So we try to do that in a way that makes sense as to how much gets canned and how much is saved for draft in each batch.
I'll bet you use a spreadsheet for that, right?
We use Beer 30 software, so yeah.
Okay.
Throw that out.
Yeah. So now, do you ever decide? Okay, we're gonna can some of the stuff we're doing in the pilot house just for special can releases, just to kind of spice up the offerings and things like
Well,
that.
it's a great question. Everything we can has to be done in the production brewery just because that's where the canning line would be set up. So anything in the pilot system cannot be canned. So,
Okay.
good question.
Okay.
Right.
But so you have your own canning line.
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
So you're doing a fair amount of canning.
We're doing, we just canned our 300,000th can, I think this week or last week. Since we started with our canning line, we had a mobile canner for a couple years. So I had a number per year. I think it's 50,000 cans per year. Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
That does sound like a lot.
I mean, how much beer are you able to get off of the production system then in a year? I mean,
We're just doing 1,000 barrels, which isn't a lot. I mean, that's kind of mid-size. It's still small. But yeah, 1,000. What is that? 31,000 gallons, I guess, a year.
Yeah.
We
I
have
think.
the capacity to actually be double that. We could probably get up to about 22 or 2,400 barrels a year. But I think that when you start that scale up, it's not just about the ingredients. You also have to double your staff, double your cans, your kegs, your sales team, and that makes it a little more difficult until, like for us, we have not signed with a distributor.
Right.
I'm not sure how much you know about franchise law, but that could be a very long conversation
It
or a
could
very
be.
short one. But
Yeah. We need Matthias for that, but it's
we've heard it's not
daunting.
the easiest path to go and can be very tricky. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So
it
if
is tricky. We're hoping that this year that some things change at the state level. We're hoping that we have that. We talked to legislators a month ago.
Mhm.
Back in April, we went down for the Ohio Craft Beer Day, and we talked to a lot of legislators, and it was always kind of fun because many of them said, gosh, I feel like we see you guys here every year for the same issue.
We're there every year.
And it's like, you've seen us here at least 3 years in a row. So, and then,
Because
and
the same issue hasn't
same issue
changed.
hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But they're at the point now that I think a
They're
lot of
tired
those,
of us, which is good.
yeah,
They want to get
they
this thing
they
done,
want
maybe.
this to get kind of passed. They want to get some things through. So I think Ohio Craft Beer and the organizations that are working together to help that. I think this will be the year.
Yeah, we were out talking to the folks at Royal Docks, and they were there, and he said some of the legislators actually now they understand. They're like, okay, we understand the language. A few years ago, they're like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Just very confused about no, we're not going to change anything. Well, now they're starting to get it. You lock these people up. Now you can't sell your beer because you've just been parked, in a warehouse
Yeah.
somewhere. So hopefully that,
I
Get
use-
something
I use
changed.
terms like I use mob tactics when I spoke in front of the Judiciary Committee. I used that term,
Yeah.
which I did that on purpose. You gotta use that kind of language to open
Well,
some eyes.
to be fair, yeah, it really is.
It's unfair to the smaller breweries. If you're a larger brewery, those wholesalers are going to work much harder with you because you have more product. But someone like us with 1,000 barrels right now, that would be something that would be for us the amount of money we would have to put into the infrastructure to kind of expand up to 2,000 to have enough to do with distribution would be enough to kind of like sink us if, like, let's say they just decided we're just going to park your beers over here in the corner for a while because we got a bigger account, and that's a risk that we're not ready to take right now. And I think that once franchise law has changed, that might be something that they can kind of go back and take a look at and say, is this something that we want to pursue? Because it does take a fair amount of money to kind of begin that expansion and doubling your product or really kind of start to maximize the potential of your tanks. I mean,
Yeah.
we're ready. We're just waiting.
Yeah. But you guys are at a good sweet spot right now that you like, and everything's going the way
Yeah.
you want with that stuff. What's our next one here? Red Bend. I'm confused.
This is the red band.
It's
Yeah,
it's not red.
No.
This could go on a while, so I don't know how much time we got. But Red Band, that is another new flagship. So it's a lager. It's an American lager. It's a pre-prohibition American lager. 5%. Does use flake corn, but not in excess. There's a small percentage of flake corn. It's lagered. This is probably, it lagers at least 4 weeks. We don't centrifuge. It's all naturally, it clarifies naturally. We just wanted something, a good lager. And, I've learned a lot over the years, so it's taken time. I mean, it's like a simple beer, but it may be one of the hardest to do properly. And, I'm not saying I'm doing it properly, but I've done the best I can on it. So
Yeah, I was going to say, so I'm not a brewer, but I drink beer, and I'd say this is not simple as much as complex because it's
right.
It's sweet, it's full-bodied,
Try it.
but it still has that malt beer taste. I mean, that's very good. I mean, you keep saying lager, and I don't know if it's the sweetness that's throwing me off, that it's almost like a cream ale, but is that wrong to...
I mean, it could be in that category. That's what it's all about. Cream ale is similar to a lager, and sometimes they are lagers. So, not too surprised. It could be put in the cream ale category. It could win a medal, even though it's not.
Yeah, the corn just kind of thins out the body a little bit, but still has that little bit of flavor, a little bit of sweetness.
'Cause it comes through a little bit, but
Yeah.
And these beers are warming as we sit. So
Mhm.
it's actually, you're getting more of the flavor.
No,
Before,
that's-
that'd be like
yeah.
ice cold crisp. But now it's warming up, so it's still doing okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I like warm beer.
Warm lager.
I'm gonna hold it up now that we've finished one flight there.
Oh, yeah,
There-
check it out.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's cool.
Isn't that kind of
And
neat?
it's not in your face. Some people don't notice it.
Oh,
Most people do, probably.
very nice.
I think my favorite thing is when you put the flight paddle down and you say from the head to the toe of the casket,
Yeah.
and then they catch on that
Yeah.
it is a casket, so they get a kick out of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were down in your tap room downstairs. We walked in. I'm like blown away. It's packed out for trivia night. But my question is, when you opened up, you had to design a tap room. What were you going for? Kind of the feel of the place?
I'll let you do this one. I don't know.
We just wanted some place that people could come to and enjoy. We wanted it to be, 11 years ago, there weren't a lot of places that were doing a ton of brick on the wall, at least not in our community. The black ceiling was something that we wanted, and, it was kind of fun. Some of the conversations that we'd had were like, you really don't want like drywall. You really want the brick. You know how you want the old windows. We definitely want the old windows. We like the ambiance of that. You want a black ceiling? It's like, we want a black ceiling. Well, what about the floor? Well, we just want to polish the floor. And everything kind of came together like how we really wanted it to look. And again, it was a great team of people kind of going through, and a lot of different opinions that worked well together, just like the space up here. It kind of brought some of those same elements up into the spirit room, similar colors, and a lot of repurposed materials. The tables downstairs are from a bowling alley. The back bar was from a local artist, and before that it had also been in a
Tavern.
it had been in a tavern. It had been in like a drugstore, so there's a lot of history with it. Just, fun things like that, little things.
I think you did a good job because people love it. They're packing it out. Everybody's playing trivia.
Yeah.
I don't play trivia. I'm dumb. I don't know stuff.
It's the hardest trivia you've ever played. I'm telling
Really?
you. I have no chance.
It was ironic when we were down there, when we just got here, they were doing a Shawshank Redemption question.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
Can't get away from it.
always, so that obviously is a theme down here. You have with your beers. You talked about one of the three things for your naming of beers is something that's kind of local or has something to do with it. Are there other things you guys do to kind of be in a forefront with the community? You mentioned the commerce that helps a lot with promoting things. Are you guys actively doing things with the community and events and with some of the folks?
Oh, yeah. You got this.
I'll let you do it.
Well, this is your
we host a ton of events, and we also go off site quite a lot. We have a great community. Like, I know I've said that before, but we really, really do. And just like the book event we had on Sunday, a lot of people came out for that. It was a great fun afternoon. It was the second one we've done. We have a pop-up book market coming. We partnered with Hudson Essex, which is the local winery, and just a fantastic restaurant. If you've not heard of them, they have a place called Prohibition in the Caverns, which is actually, have you been down to Cincinnati?
I have.
It's been a while.
Have you been in the caverns at Moorline? The beer caves?
I've been at Moorline, but not the caverns.
Okay, so there are all these German beer caves in Cincinnati. There's a ton of them. We actually have, what's rumored is that there are 14 in Mansfield. And we were in one, which has now since been closed up. But when the winery was working on building out Hudson and Essex and Cypress Cellars, they tapped into one of those underground caverns, and they restored it. And they have, it's gorgeous. Like, it's like a series of like one and then a half a cavern and then an exit. And that's called Prohibition at the Caverns. We've done 2 beer dinners over there. The foods are just fantastic. The chef is amazing. And those are small things in the community. We work with, I shouldn't say that small thing, but that's like
those caves were built in like the 1850s and 60s.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I forgot that.
But
So-
no, there's more.
We have, we work a lot with our CVB. We'll be doing a lot with the Shawshank Hustle, which is a race. They'll start at the prison. They'll go run by a whole bunch of the stops from the movie, and then they'll run by the Phoenix, and then they'll come back after for beers, and we'll have 4 special beers for that. We've got a big event with the Humane Society coming up in October, where that is a 0.5K. You're going to walk around the block with your dog, and we're going to raise a lot of money
my kind of
for
race.
animal
Hundreds of
help
dogs,
and
hundreds,
care.
and people.
And there's beer
Yep.
involved.
And it's actually called
Donuts.
Dogs, Donuts, and Drinks. So you can get a beer and a donut, or a root beer and a donut, or a coffee and a donut.
How
So,
many dogs would you say? 150?
oh, I couldn't even. Last year, I think there was like 275 people plus
lot of canines.
significant others. Plus, I would say half of those people had dogs with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Very nice. Sounds like very, very active
Yeah.
in the community and a lot of things to do. And this, in the town. That's nice.
So these beer caves, like, nobody knows where they are. They just kind of dig into them, or
Because they used to be where they would store the beers. Where they had the
so
cooling
it's a
system,
German. Right? It's a German. A lot of Germans came here, and Cincinnati, and they were just beer caves that were arched, and they stored. They actually ran spring water through copper pipes to bring the temperature below 55 degrees. More like the spring water was like 48 degrees. So it was refrigeration before there was refrigeration.
I know in Europe that's how they used to do all the lagering and
Yeah,
stuff.
so-
is all in caves.
And the other part I was going to say, I guess I just heard this, but the courthouse was torn down in 1962 in Mansfield, and with it they got rid of all the records of all the caves or all the properties. There was a lot of records that were just tossed in when they built the new.
So now it's a scavenger hunt.
So no, they don't know where a lot of the stuff is, but they found this one, like she said, accidentally. They were just digging for a foundation wall, and they found there was 2 main caverns that they found.
wow. So they rather than we just fill this in, we'll restore it and do something with it. Yeah.
Flew it down there.
Wow, that's cool. Beer
right.
Now you can
caves.
have dinner down.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jane's your favorite.
What's one of them?
One
I
of
like
them?
them all. I like them
Do
all.
the Jane.
So
All right, let's do the Jane.
tell us about one of your favorite beers.
I like a lot of the beers. So Jane is, we have a beer called John Doe, which is an American wheat, and it was named after the bones we found in the basement during the
Oh, wait,
renovation.
I feel like we shouldn't gloss over the bones you found in the basement.
So-
But that's John Doe. This is Jane.
This
Oh,
is Jane.
okay.
But we found these bones when they were working, and actually you tell it so much better.
I can tell it fast. I mean, but we were doing the build out. They're putting drains in the basement in the embalming room, putting new drainage in, and when they dug up a trench, they found what looked like human arm bones. So the contractor came up to me and he goes, "We found these bones." I'm like, "Oh, cool." He goes, "Don't tell anybody about it." I'm like, "Okay." So we don't own this building.
You have to call in people and probably
Well-
stop construction for a while.
Well, he goes, yeah. He said, "Don't tell anyone." Because I've been part of something like this, and they'll stop the construction. I said, "Okay," but I didn't own the building. This wasn't our building. We were leasing it, about to lease it, and so I had to tell the owner of the building. I didn't think I had to, but I did. So then it was out of my hands, and then there was detectives here, and there was 2 detectives, and there was an older gentleman and a younger gentleman, and they were kind of joking around. And the younger one said, "Hey," goes, "Hey, Bob, those bones are probably older than you are," something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was kind of like, okay, that's funny. And then I got a glare from the construction worker. He was glaring at me. He's like, "What do you do? Why are detectives here?" So I just kind of probably walked away. I don't know. I left. So then they said, "We're going to have these analyzed to see if they're animal or not, animal or human." And,
The bones, by the way, had been under the floor, which was laid in 1914.
yeah, so older than 1914.
Older than
So it's not like a real recent crime scene here we're talking about. So they said it could take up to a week. It could take up to a week to determine if they're animal or human. So, what was it? The next
It was
day?
8 a.m. the next morning. 8 a.m. the next morning, and they said, "Oh no, it's all good. We sent them down to Columbus, and they analyzed them, and you're good to go. They were animal."
And
No, I mean,
what did
nothing-
you say?
Nothing in government works that fast. I mean,
No, you-
nobody analyzes anything, especially
she-
not 100-year-old bones under the
But
floor.
she goes-
Partial bones.
But what did you say? Where are the bones?
I
I'd
asked
like
for
to
them
have
back.
them.
I asked for them back, and they said no. Those got chucked out a window on the side of the highway where immediately got
Yeah.
put into
So
a
the project, maybe a day or two, and it was back on. So thankfully,
So-
John Doe was born.
So what kind of beer is Jane, though?
Jane is a raspberry American wheat. And we named that Jane because we said it wasn't fair that there was a John Doe because it could have been a woman. So Jane came out. We also have Barb Doe, which is a rhubarb wheat, and she comes out every couple of years. And we have a Juan Doe, which is
It's the whole
a
family.
lime wheat that comes out usually around Cinco de Mayo. So
So this is Jane Doe, not Jane.
this is Jane. Go.
I mean, the raspberry definitely comes through.
Should have gotten a glass of that before we came
I can taste the wheat profile. I mean, it's mild enough that you can, again, you can taste the fruit, but it still tastes like a beer, which to me is
dried out.
the best way you can do a fruity beer. I mean, I don't want it to overpower the fact that it's still a beer.
I feel like
it did receive an award last year at the U.S. Craft Beer,
U.S. Open beer.
the U.S. Open Craft Beer Championship. It received a bronze or silver? Bronze. It received a bronze medal last year for that
Congratulations.
in 2024. So
well
thank you.
deserved.
So thank you.
Should we have a moment of silence for
For
possible
Jane Joe.
somebody that died
Jane
and
John?
was buried without a head market?
Sheep or
Could be a
cattle.
cat.
But
Cat.
it could have been a
Big
dog
cat,
or a cat.
Like a
been a
giant
person.
cat.
Could have been a person.
Like a mountain lion or something?
Well, we don't know.
Let's see.
Nobody knows.
Nobody
Impossible
knows.
to say.
I will say, the one detective, I don't remember which one, he goes, was any jackhammer marks here? I'm like, come on, dude. No. We don't want to go down that hole. No jackhammer marks.
So,
Maybe it was Charles. Have you ever thought of
Could
that?
have been. It could have been. I did stumble on Charles Schreier Jr. was actually the man who owned the mortuary business. And it's kind of funny because I was randomly in the Mansfield Cemetery and I saw the Schreier.
just
Plaque.
strolling through the cemetery.
I
for the heck of it.
don't want to say
As
why.
one does.
I was taking a walk and I saw the Schreier family plot. So I went over and I saw Charles Schreier Jr., 1932. And, he actually existed and now he's a ghost. So there you go.
The story is suspect because no brewer has time for a stroll through the cemetery. They're too busy.
Right. Well, I was getting ideas,
Ah, yes, research.
name ideas.
Yes.
So, I see this next one is the island coconut, right?
Ooh.
Island time.
Island
Ooh,
time.
This is island time.
Okay, which I think I saw the can down in the refrigerator. So it is a pina colada coconut.
It is a tart fruit. It is a pina colada tart fruit ale with a hint of strawberry. So
Right.
this is this beer. Is that what you have? We took this beer down to the OCBA event
They're getting
on
warm.
Saturday, and we had a light up palm tree. We had leis. We had little umbrellas. We just had so much fun with it. We have a series of 4 cocktail beers this year. This is one of them. And they're beers that, they're fantastic by themselves. But if you were to, if you'd like a long walk on the beach, that's your beer.
Or
But
a
you can
long
also do a
walk in
long
the
walk with your
cemetery.
dog, and it works great too. It's really good. It's also really good though, and it's versatile because one of the things when we first opened, we also did beer tails. And we'll take this and you can add a shot of spiced rum to it. And it makes some crushed ice, and it makes a fantastic cocktail as well. So it's a lot. It's just a fun beverage.
Try yours.
Multi-purpose.
Oh, do it.
So that actually, one of the questions is, other than beer, are there other stuff that you do? Obviously, we're up here in the spirit room, so you do have spirits. And you just mentioned that you do mix some of the spirits with some of the beers and wine, and you have a full bar.
We do. I'll let you talk about it.
Well, yeah, we do. We have the sangria. We do have a sangria that's very popular. We have it all year. There's 4 different flavors that we do depending on the season, and we do have Ohio-based spirits in the tap room, and up here in the spirit room, it's anything goes really. Bourbon, whiskey,
Couple
Scotch.
gins, couple
Yeah,
gins.
couple right. But downstairs in our main tap room, it's all Ohio products.
Downstairs we try to have all Ohio products, but we do have a lot of different cocktails. We have a lot of different beverages, the beer tails, the cocktails. In the summertime, we do what's called a booze bag. That's spelled BOOS, not booze with a Z, but like boo. Eek.
yeah.
We did that one year because of incarceration. We wanted to really bring up a lot of the numbers, and we did these frozen they make up a big batch of cocktails. They weigh it out. They put 12 ounces in the bag. They toss it in the freezer, and then it's hot. So
Slushy.
they get slushy within 5 minutes, and people go nuts for them. They love them. So
Wow.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, incarceration. Those people would love that stuff.
Those people, yeah.
oh no, I don't mean it that way. No, but like when they come into town, like in order to get people to come out, we advertise those for probably, we did some pretty heavy rotation in the advertisements for those for like 2 weeks to get people to want to come in. And, you know, some of the paid ads we had did have, you know, like incarceration was one of the words that we had put in there to kind of get people to come in to our place and establishment early. It's something where it's something fun, it's something different, and, you know, it brought a lot of people out. And, you know, so now they're just like a regular rotation piece. We love the incarceration people.
Oh, of course. I'm one of them.
You seem to be okay.
I seem to be all right. I survived.
So I saw the website. So you have food
been
trucks.
there.
You guys
I've
do
gone.
not have a
Yeah.
kitchen,
No.
right? And so you're doing food trucks
Yeah.
most nights.
Yeah, the weekends more, and then trivia night, like today, we have the food truck. So, you know, when we're busier, we have the food truck, and then we have local restaurants who will deliver here. So we have menus from various restaurants that will deliver, or DoorDash or whatever. So,
So Duncan just told me he's been to incarceration. So so you into the heavy
Yeah,
music?
I am. Yeah, I'm into that a little bit.
Yes. We're gonna talk later.
Into that a little
We
bit.
did
I like Kill Switch
Sonic
games.
Temple.
Oh,
last year.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah, last year we went to Sonic Temple.
Oh yeah, I've been to that. Went before it was what was it called before?
Rock on the Range.
Rock on the Range.
Rock on
Yeah,
the Range,
yeah,
yeah.
many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good show.
I mean, as we're kind of winding down with the beers, do you see that? Does Phoenix have? And again, there's no right or wrong, an identity of a certain style that you guys like to always have, or is it just experimenting with different things, or is there a thing that really identifies? If you had to say, you know, Phoenix is,
We do it all.
you do it.
But it's hard to do everything really well. So we've focused generally on stouts, darker beers, and that's mainly because the water source we have here is higher in alkalinity. It's great for making stout beers. So just as it is. So I've had to
we
learn,
didn't have a stout here today.
and we didn't pick one today. It's
We have
going
a
into
white stout.
summer,
White
so we do have an oatmeal milk stout, and we have a barrel aged imperial stout up here that we could have chosen. It's more toward the winter, but we've kind of gone away a little bit from the stouts in general. But you know, we're doing more sours, we're doing IPAs, but we do a lot of different. We have 16 taps, and I think we only have maybe 3 IPAs on at any time, so it's not IPA heavy generally.
We do have the Ferryman Oatmeal Milk Stout is also one that has won an award, and that beer is on all year long. It's fantastic. It's also one of the flagships that we've had since day one. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's
grab
kind
one
of,
of those after if you want.
yeah, it's kind of a hybrid. Oatmeal stouts are generally 6%, but our oatmeal milk stout's 7.2, so it's a little stronger pint. But there's a lot of clientele who really like the Ferryman. It's one of their favorites.
It's
So.
also very drinkable, dangerously drinkable.
Yeah, great name too.
Ferryman
Yeah.
takes you across
Yeah.
the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, what is probably your best selling beer right now? I mean, it probably just changed over the years, I'm assuming.
You want to talk about Krampus?
So we have 3 beers that probably sell more than any. The Redemption, the Ferryman, and actually, we can switch up and do this one next.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about it.
Yeah, this is the Krampus. It's a
Krampus
white
candy.
stout, and so it's a golden ale, and it's infused with Highlander grog. So it has notes of butterscotch and caramel,
Ooh.
and that coffee roast, and it's just really.
I think I had this one at the Winter Warmer.
We usually take it up to Winter Warmer. It's just a fun beer. It also received a gold medal last year at the U.S. Open Craft Beer Championship. So
And there is coffee in this or not?
there is
There is
coffee.
coffee. Okay.
So yeah.
You mentioned the butterscotch. No, I mean it's
Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes, and then I know you're going to say, but this is probably our best-selling beer, especially in cans, because it's out all year as a flagship in cans. In-house, it's seasonal on draft, so it's not always on. And we do variants of this. We've got, we do a
Did I see it there? Isn't there a Krampus? Is there an original that this is based from? Or
yeah,
no?
this is the Krampus Candy Original, what
Okay.
we have here. A Highlander grog, vanilla, and chocolate,
Well,
and a golden ale.
the very first one we did was the holidays, and it
It had mint, yeah.
It had mint, and we had so many people asking, "Can you bring back that Krampus?" and we were doing a Christmas in July, and we said, sure. And then we all said, nobody wants a mint beer in July. Nobody wants a chocolate mint beer in July. So we came up with a way to kind of change it up a little bit, and it had been popular that first year. But when we did this, it went so quick. People loved it. Like, and they kept asking for it. So when we got back to the fall and the winter, we came back with this version. And then every now and again, we bring the mint version back. We call it cream to mint.
Right. We had a
Cream
4-pack of, every February, we do a mixed 4-pack, 4 different Krampus candies. We did a white chocolate raspberry this year, which was new, which was good. We have a snickerdoodle and the creme de menthe, and then the original. So that 4-pack has sold out, but we do that every year. So that's a big.
And again, a great name,
on the
a
original.
little dark and mythological name there with Krampus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good because the flavors come out.
Have a sip of
Yeah.
that to check it for quality.
Quality control. I mean, we know Duncan is the head brewmaster, and Carmen, I don't think we ever got what your role is other than quality control. Is there
Quality control.
quality control?
QC. I do creative and marketing. So if it's something going on social media, communications, if it's a label, art, all of that kind of stuff. And then I also serve on the board for the Ohio Creppers Association and on several committees, marketing, events, and membership.
And been here since the beginning?
So one of the things that you maybe in your job description is, signing up, participating at all the beer fests. One of the things that I know about Phoenix is I see you guys out in, you're at the Winter Warmer. You guys are out at Twin Oast at their Oasttoberfest. You guys do all the fests all over the state. I mean, is there a marketing piece to that, a reason for that? Is it part of your?
So we try to, if there's an event that we know that, we have a lot of that's going to be close, we try to make sure that we're there to have someone that can talk to people about our beers if they have questions. And Oasttoberfest is just so much fun. It's 2 days. It's tons of people. It's tons of beer. It's Oktoberfest. I mean, there's, it's just an amazing event. And Winter Warmer, you've got 1,800 people that roll through there in 3 hours, and you're able to talk to everybody about your beers. It's just a great experience. We have cut back. When we first opened, we were doing a lot of events with, like, we would try to do the Columbus Beer Fest and the Cleveland Beer Fest, and we are a little more choosy with the events that we do now. Like, we love Twin Oaks, we love Winter Warmer. There's an event that's a local event over at the Grist Mill, which is their Oktoberfest. We like to do that event. There are some now that we don't go to and do. The events, the mystery beer date is just a fun event. I mean, that's a beer.
Sounds fun.
That's so much fun to go to, and you get to talk to people and talk about your product, talk about what you love, and just kind of see, what's people's feedback.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
There are some events that cater more towards beer enthusiasts, and then there are events that people just go to get drunk at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's.
Yeah, we don't typically do the drunk fest.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You said you did Winter Warmer.
But
so.
heavy metal guys.
Yeah, heavy metal guys
There's
like those
There's a
fests.
lot going on at Winter Warmer.
Ian's bringing us a beer.
Yeah. Are you talking about me, Tom, right now?
So, this is Ian.
maybe.
Ian is one of the brewers here. Hello. So thank you, Ian.
And someone we've seen at the fest.
Yes,
Yes.
all the time.
Did
It's
you
always
did you order these beers on a text?
did.
Ah, nice.
When we sat down, I
Oh,
realized
magic.
you didn't grab beers for us.
I've been drinking his.
Oh man, that's fun.
I didn't want to drink from your flight beers. I didn't want to have to take any of your beers away, so I ordered a couple beers for us. But that's
So
okay.
that
It's on my phone.
looks
I
like
didn't mean
this
That is a Jane.
That's a Jane. That's Jane.
Jane Doe. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Is that
Dave,
turbidity?
It is.
Yes. See.
You can tell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Should we boil or should we have another beer?
I can tell by its turbidity.
Exactly.
And its turbidity. Yeah.
It's
Um,
a pretty obvious, it's like Mr. Obvious name. I guess.
Yeah. That's good.
Let's go to
Let's backtrack.
the Salty Mermaid.
The Salty Mermaid.
This is
Salty
the
So
salty
Mermaid.
the goza.
That's correct.
This is a watermelon and lime goza, more lime and, or excuse me, it's a margarita goza with lime and watermelon.
Right.
I said that backwards, so. It's probably pretty warm right now too.
So,
Oh, that's good.
So think margarita, and then you drink it, and it to me, it's the first time we did it, but I really like how this one came
It's
out.
also fantastic with a shot of tequila over ice.
So again, I'm not a huge watermelon fan at times, but
It's probably coming out
it's not. It's still very mild, which to me is good. I mean, the salt and lime is what you taste more of, which is
And you'll get salt on your lips after you take a sip. That's where the salt comes in.
That's what she said.
that's very good. And what's the ABV on this?
4.5.
4.5.
So
So
in the
truly-
goza range, yeah. So, yeah, big,
Yeah.
Truly a
That's
summer.
going to be that summer.
that's done.
That's going to
really
be
well.
gone.
Yeah. So far that's been that's an anniversary beer that we did in draft only. Yeah, first time through, and I took some notes, so I'm going to try to duplicate that again.
Yeah.
Spread
I
on,
think
In-
that's
on my
that.
spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yeah. Beer 30, right? Are you getting
Commission every time
kickbacks
you
from
mention it?
every commissions from Beer 30 every time you
I mean,
Beer 30, Beer 30, Beer 30.
We love, we
they're
love
great. I mean, yeah, I shout out to Beer 30. They've been great to me, and they're great guys, and it's a simple software, but it does a lot for us. So yeah,
Yeah.
spreadsheets were great, but they're better.
Wow. That should be your tagline, Beer 30. Spreadsheets are great, but they're better.
Right.
Beer
You guys
30 is
can make
better.
sure to tag them. Tag
Yeah,
them.
yeah, we will. Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
So,
Let's get into the
Yeah.
boil.
All right, let's get into the boil. You know, I haven't had any homebrew happenings for a long time, but this week I do. I did a IPA for the first time in months. Main hop was the Crush hop. Also bittered it with some Mosaic and Cashmere, and I just dry hopped it. It finished out 1.012, and probably keg it on. I should keg it on Monday. I'm probably gonna do it on Sunday so we can rush it out for when you guys come out. Force carb it,
Right.
a little
Yeah,
rocky
I'm gonna
rock.
Try this. It better be ready.
Yeah. So it's got a lot. I just let Tom do a real
A
pre-taste.
little pre-taste. It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little citrus, pineapple. So I think it's going to be
I've
pretty
never
good.
heard of Crush, so I'm curious. for you.
Neither had I. So that's what Cleveland Brew Shop had. So pick some of that up.
And I would say that's a little bit of a sneak preview. So if you guys coming out to the studio next week, we'll get into a little bit. I think I saw on the Facebook page. Yeah, it was Facebook that Duncan, you started as a home brewer back in '99. So we'll get more in depth in that next
Yeah,
week.
I'm an old brewer now. Right.
Yeah, we're all
Okay.
old brewers. Yeah, yeah.
Heavy metal, older brewer. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Right there with you.
Well,
It sounds like two things that go together, huh?
they do. They really do. The other thing, homebrew side, I've been looking at the Spike glycol chiller. I found one on Facebook Marketplace. The guy's selling it for like $800. They go for $1,000. Problem is, it's out near Harrisburg. It's about
Road
300 miles
trip.
away.
Road trip.
Road trip.
There's a lot of good breweries out there.
You know, I thought of that. I thought, we could hit breweries on the way, but I'm going to spend $150 in gas. I don't know.
And at least that much
it's a
on
wash.
beer and breweries,
And, at least that much. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the thing. You're always looking to upgrade when you're a home brewer, right? Always upgrading. And yeah, that's the fun part.
I mean, in the summer, I ferment in the garage. I need something. So
Oh, yeah.
my wife is behind the camera. We're trip to Marblehead's off this weekend. I'm going to Harrisburg.
Harrisburg, PA. Don't go there. No, I'm just kidding.
Guess who's sleeping on the couch tonight?
Me. Yeah.
Harrisburg, Ohio, no problem.
Yeah. No. Pennsylvania is
I
different.
know. Maybe there's a Harrisburg, Ohio, and they have one there.
there's a Virginia, isn't there? Harrisburg, Virginia.
Harrisonburg?
Harrisburg.
All right.
All right.
Anything else in the
No,
Pro brew
that's
world?
it.
That's
No, in the pro brew world, if Matthias was here, he could tell us about things going on at LBC, Medina. What's up, Jay? Oh, okay. Thought maybe we were running out of battery or whatever.
I mean, I know you meant. I mean, so LBC, we were out there Thursday, and the patio was open. People were sitting out
Yes.
there, and the weather's been.
LBC, what L?
Lorraine Brewing.
Lorraine
Company.
Brewing Company. Sorry.
Oh, I got you. Yep. No.
Yeah, so Matthias is with Lorraine Brewing Company. When we were doing the Medina passport, we did stop by at Medina Brewing Company and get our stamp there. And I know they've always got some. Check their Facebook page. They always have a lot of live music going on there. Liz does a great job.
They do trivia. I think at Medina they do trivia on Tuesdays. Lorraine, they do trivia on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgive us, Matthias. I mean, if you showed up, you'd get all these details correct. But
Well, and we
you're,
were out there last week. I think it's, I don't know if it's every second, look on the Facebook, every second Thursday. It was actually Jeep night
Blaming him for
when
being
we were there
misinformed, so, like,
yeah.
They have the little ducks.
at Lorraine Brewing Company. Yeah.
They have all those little ducks, like those little rubber ducks that people put in
The
there.
people do put them on, yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
We know Big Top Brew House is up and running and going strong.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, just to let you guys know, Lorraine Brewing Company is where the shipyards used to be up in Lorraine. It's right on the docks of the, there's a marina.
Black River.
Right on the Black River. The marina, the boats come right up
Okay.
to where they're, what do they call it, the dock bar outside?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. But
So they're,
and the
they ha-
beautiful, we were there, beautiful sunsets. My wife took a beautiful picture with the beer and the sun setting right over the Bastille Bridge.
yes. To reference another brewery in Lorraine. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot
Another
of stuff
fun
going on
spot,
there. Yeah.
I did see this blurb on NEOBC. Magic City took over that location in the Merriman Valley. They're going to call it the
by the-
Rabbit Hole,
No good.
the Arche
So
location.
by the towpath one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So they're going to open up as early as June, from what they said. So
Wow, that's like 2 weeks.
that's like, yeah, now. That's like now.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast.
They're just moving in, turnkey, right?
Yeah, they signed a lease. They're ready to go. And they, behind the scenes, they've been working on their permits and the county and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
It's all
Health
still
department.
there, I assume. It's all ready to go.
Yeah, it's all there.
Do
So
we have any Phoenix things coming up in the next week here or two?
In the next week or two? Well, we do have something every Tuesday. We do trivia, we do bingo, we do, we're actually going to be launching Singo Bingo in a couple of weeks. And then we also have euchre. And then
Oh, I did see that. You guys are euchre. So who's the euchre fan here?
we had a lot of people that asked for it. And I don't know if you got to meet Joanna downstairs. Joanna handles all the Tuesday night stuff, so she does a great job. And she's the euchre master. And then Jason, who's actually downstairs, is our bingo master and our bingo caller. He
can I
comes
just
in
interject right here? Am I the only one that thinks there's too many letters in the word euchre? Like,
You're the
how do
only
you
one.
spell
Yes,
EUCHRE? I mean, there's
Yeah,
too many. There's
Well,
too
it's
many
like-
letters.
Phonics is hard to spell.
Let's put a J and a PH in there.
Is that what he's talking about?
Euchre.
I get you.
He is.
A
We
lot
do
of
we do a
letters.
run club every Wednesday, and then we have live music every Friday and Saturday. Food trucks, all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can find it
run
on our
club.
website. You can find it on Facebook. So yeah.
We got a Final Friday coming up next week. Yeah. Final Fridays are on the stage right next to Phoenix here, run by downtown Mansfield OH. And it's a music, with live music, and a couple thousand people show up for those events. Last Friday of the month from May through September. So if you're in town, it could be a big night.
That's fun. What kind of acts do they get?
Really good acts from Cleveland or Columbus, bands. And usually there's a theme to the bands. They're like blues bands, or just different
They
types
have-
of music. But they're
Different
usually
genres
within
of
a certain
music.
genre, right? Yeah, and it's a big deal for Mansfield, the Final Fridays, yep.
Sounds fun.
Are you in a band?
Sounds fun. I am not. No.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
Huge fan, just
I'm not
can't play anything. Yeah.
I'm not either.
I like other people playing music for me.
Exactly. Just like I don't brew beer, I don't.
You don't brew beer.
I don't sing or play an instrument, but I enjoy music and I enjoy beer.
I play the skin flute.
All right.
He enjoys his beer.
He enjoys it.
I like it.
He started with the tea reference.
Yeah.
There's more in the back.
All right.
Anyway, so
He rolls it back.
hey guys, we're gonna thank you for having us out here. I'm gonna tell you what's coming up on the BlabberMalt Show. We have next week. You guys are coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Verified. Put that on the spreadsheet. Mark that as verified.
Confirmed.
June 3rd, we're going to be in Cleveland at Two Friends Brewing Company. Jay, what's going on, man? What are you doing? All right, okay. Make me nervous.
There's a little light flash. No, there's
Oh,
not.
did the whole show not take?
June 10th, we're going to be out at Hoppy Dudes. Not sure if we're going to be in Hinckley or Medina yet, but we'll figure that out. They're kind of figuring out where they want us. June 17th, we're going to be at Four Paws / Red Wagon. Finally getting out there. Ann's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, great.
We've never been out there, but yeah, you're my pony, Ann. So we'll be out there.
Did you hear it?
She's on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah, she's on the board now.
We're working on getting Missing Mountain back on the show. It was our fault. We had a schedule conflict, so probably late June, maybe early July, we'll get out to Missing Mountain. So looking forward to that. You guys have any questions, concerns? You're disappointed in Matthias for not being here, or whatever. blabbermalt@gmail.com. Give us an email.
And before you do this final, how do people get a hold of you guys? Where do they find Phoenix? What are you guys on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, phoenixbrewing.com, TikTok.
Oh, you're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok.
You have TikToks.
We do have a TikTok.
Dave, are you getting on TikTok?
I'm
soon?
not getting on TikTok.
All
No,
right.
I'm a
What's the handle?
Brewing Phoenix.
Brewing
And
Phoenix.
then Facebook is the Phoenix Brewing Company. So all the others are Brewing Phoenix. So
Nice.
yeah.
All right, sounds good.
And then
So I don't-
BlabberMalt Show with. Well, go ahead.
I don't think did we decide like we're kind of outside of the Cleveland.
Oh,
we
we'll
going?
stick with it. We'll stick with it.
Okay, all right.
How do you get a hold of BlabberMalt? Where can you find us?
I don't know. Where are we? We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube at BlabberMalt.
Follow.
Like, follow, do all the things.
I did the like. I saw you on Instagram and Facebook. I think I liked or followed.
Oh,
both.
we're over 691 then.
692. Woo!
All right.
I'll make sure I've done that now. Now I have to check it. I'll have to check it in a minute.
Dude, we've had a great time.
All right.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the
Looking
beers.
forward to next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the studio.
I want to do a little tour and walk downstairs with the camera just to show the space.
Okay.
I don't know if I told Ian
All
thank
right.
you. Ian brought us those
You don't
beers
have
up, and I
to.
don't think I told him thank
He
you.
owed
Well,
you. He owed you.
no, he didn't know me. Well, thank you, Ian,
He's
for the
my
beers.
assistant brewer.
He's the one of
I mean,
Yeah.
let's not do it. Let's not sign off then if he's going to still show.
I'm just going to walk downstairs. You don't have to come if you want to.
All right, well, we'll accompany you.
It's probably with.
Dead or they still
I was gonna say it's because we close at 9. They've probably cleared out from trivia, so you'll get to see the whole space. without-
Yeah, let's go check it out.
So cool.
Would you mind showing us maybe the pilot?
Oh, you can see
Brewery?
everything,
Can we-
whatever you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey man, Jay's in charge, so we're gonna do what Jay wants.
Thank you.
Check out the Spirit Room bar
we're
though
still-
before
we're
we
still going, we're
go
still
down.
going.
Look at that.
We're still going. We're going to tour with. We're going to show everyone your place.
We got a new beer name. Teabag.
No. Oh my God, yes, you got to go. No. So when I taught,
We're still on.
when I taught middle school,
All right, we're gonna head down
and I switched to coffee.
from the Spirit Room to check out the main tap room.
Can we get through here now? So this is the main area that Dave was talking about earlier that was packed before. And this is where you guys kept the brick on the outside, the black roof, back ceiling. And the beer garden is between the production facility here, right? Okay. Oh, here we go down into the pilot system.
I hope it's not a mess.
So we're going down into the, what was this, the mortuary?
The embalming room.
Embalming room. And then,
Preparation room. This would have been the preparation room. The embalming room is back here. But one of the reasons why we picked this building in particular was because of the ceiling height. Most of the buildings at that time in downtown Mansfield had very low ceilings. This was the only one that we knew would be able to accommodate like a 5-barrel system. So yeah.
and how long did you guys have just the 5-barrel system before getting the production facility?
They had ordered the larger system and it was on its way before the second year. So
Before the second year.
Before the second year. When we first opened, we had 2 fermenters and 2 bright tanks. Within the next 4 months, we had 2 more fermenters, and then we added FV5, and then FV6 came before the equipment next door. But we'll go see that too.
So I'm looking ahead a little bit here, and I see some coffins on the wall.
Yeah. I'm wondering where the bones were found.
So this is this is just we have 3 different coolers. This is the small cooler.
Lagering in there?
Huh?
Lagering in here?
It's just serving tanks.
Ah, okay. Ah.
So directly from.
And then the spaghetti warehouse over on this side. But if you want to see where the bones were,
Yeah. Where are the bones?
here, and then over here as well. So there were two small bones. So this would have been the actual embalming room. So yeah, really small area now.
So what was a cat or dog or animal doing in the embalming room during embalming?
Nobody knows. It's impossible to say.
And some barreling going on?
Yeah, this is
I see a Flanders?
there's a Flanders. We had this is Ned, and then
Ned.
this is also Ned. There's 2 barrels of Ned. So Ned won a bronze or silver last year.
Little
So,
Simpsons reference there.
yes. And
Yeah.
we have Maud upstairs this year.
Oh, that's right.
So it goes between Ned and Maud. So yeah. Yeah. Would you guys like to see the big facility?
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
But now wait a minute. What are these? These are tap handles?
These are tap handles. Yep. That we use upstairs. So like we have the Undertaker.
So you,
Uh,
Jay, you got to get it from this side so you can see the actual.
Fixius.
Coffin.
It's, triple IPA. So these are in-house tap handles for the different beers we have.
Very nice.
I think you're looking for bonuses. So he's showing casket elevator now.
So this is this is the beer garden then?
Oh, yeah.
So again, this is what you kind of officially open up your anniversary party with, which is a couple.
I don't have my key. I'll have to have Duncan. This is in production.
Here he is. We need
There
your
he is.
key.
I don't have a
keys.
You can do the code one.
They taste like cookies.
Yeah. So it's prettier during the day. Just no, the space like usually there's the both tips are covered. This time.
Look at the kegerator here. We just had a brew day, so it's all steaming in here.
Just had a brew day.
Yeah.
He was brewing today, so he was over here on the big system.
Oh yeah.
Ian was brewing earlier today, so before he graciously brought us the beers over, he was finishing up a batch on the big system.
So, it's an honor of the organized state affairs. Still smells kind of like fresh wort in here.
Yeah, you got that malty smell.
So what did we brew today? I'm trying to remember. We did a Mexican lager today. The Zihuatanejo, also known as Zinejo, Mexican lime lager.
Lost connection.
Oh, lost Wi-Fi.
We should be Wi-Fi.
You know, we get into a big concrete facility, it kind of drops.
We'll wrap it up. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for hosting us today. Duncan,
thanks
Carmen.
for making the road trip.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
We're close to no one, so we always appreciate when somebody visits Mansfield and ourselves. So
Yeah, it's been a great time.
We appreciate it.
Enjoyed the beers.
And for the rest of you guys,
Stay malty, Cleveland.